of 4 racetracks that were on the original truck schedule back in 1995, along with Martinsville, Richmond, and Phoenix. Yes, this is the world's fastest half mile. It is Bristol, and what a way to open up the round of 8. These 3 races will determine which 4 drivers will race for the championship in Phoenix. Of course, opening up here tonight at Bristol, and I tell you what, it's a wild card enough. And then you go to Talladega, and then if you can survive these 2, then you've got Homestead, Miami.
Wild card A, wild card B, is that what we would call these first 2?
I'd hate to have to go to Miami with all of that pressure to either win or get that great result.
I just want to get it done tonight, man. It's a big night in NASCAR.
It is indeed. Let's go trackside and fire up those engines. What do you say?
Race fans, and now for the most famous words in motorsport, please welcome the president of UNOH, Dr. Jeff Jarvis.
On behalf of everyone at the University of Northwestern Ohio and Ohio Logistics, for the NASCAR fans and the heroes who have served and serve our country, it's Bristol, baby! Drivers, start your engines!
Yeah, get you fired up right there, won't it?
Absolutely.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Love it. Trucks, they can't wait after that command. They can't wait to get out there. Look, they're all pulling out early. They're saying, hold on, guys. Hold on. Hey, let's take a look at the starting lineup. Qualifying earlier this afternoon. 36 will start tonight, led by Derek Kraus, who won pole for the 4th time in his career, 2nd time this season that Kraus has earned pole position. And Chandler Smith will start alongside in the front row.
You see 6 of our playoff drivers up in the top 11. The aforementioned Zane Smith is going to be at the back of the field, along with John Hunter Nemechek, the very back of the field.
Starting in 3rd position there, guys. I'm going to take Stuart Friesen as my favorite to win this race tonight. Love that guy right now. His attitude, where he's at, I think he gets it done tonight. Who are you taking, Phil?
I'm going to take Ty Majeski.
All right. Got a couple of playoff drivers. Let's take a look at this track in detail. Our Camping World track description. A half mile in length, as you can see there, just over. The variable banking in the turns means you can see trucks running low, you're going to see trucks running high. Both straightaways are the same, but all you got to do is mark all that out and say it's Bristol, baby, like Dale Jr. made so famous, and that explains what we're talking about here.
Race analysis.
See, this race is 200 laps, just a little bit over 100 miles. Our stage 1 is 55, stage 2 is 55. You see our final stage 90 laps. Our pit window is somewhere between 120 and 130. The last 2 years here, nobody's pitted. The winner did not pit after the end of stage number 2.
Keeping track of things on pit road, Jamie Howe and Josh Sims, and we go downstairs, and it's going to be a loud one down there, guys. We wish you the best. What do you have for us?
Thank you, Vince. You mentioned John Hunter Nemechek having to start at the back of the pack, and despite that, he says that his mindset tonight really doesn't change. We're at the point in the season where every single point matters. Now, he leads the field in playoff points accumulated so far at 48, and he said tonight that's his job. He has to maximize each and every one of them. It just becomes a little tougher when he has started the back, Josh.
Well, Christian Eckes had to rally late to make it through to the round of 8, but now that he's here, he can take a breather. Once again, finds himself below the cut line with work to do, and Christian told me they simply have to be better than they were in the first round, where they had one of the worst average finishes of any of the playoff drivers. He told me he's not specifically thrilled to be racing at Bristol, not his best in the past, but he's worked harder than he has all season long to get ready for this one, Jamie.
Well, Zane Smith felt really good coming into here. He was our regular season champion. He's currently 9 points ahead of anybody else to start off this round of 8, but he does start on that last row after the mechanical failure during qualifying. Now, he did have a conversation with John Hunter Nemechek just before pre-race ceremonies where they discussed being the 2 guys that have to get through this field. They need to be aggressive. They need to be smart. They talked about doing it together, but in Zane's own words, who knows how long that's going to last, Josh?
Well, Grant Enfinger had the best first round, you could argue, of any of the playoff drivers. A win and no finish worth in fifth place, that is. But he finds himself, like Christian Eckes, below the cut line and with work to do. When I talked to Grant, he told me he feels he can win at any of the next 3 tracks, but he said they circled this one here at Bristol. And why shouldn't they? I mean, he's never finished outside the top 10 at Bristol. They feel strong here, so Grant is looking to open this round like he did last round with a win, only this time it'll put him through to the championship 4, guys.
Oh, how big that would be. Thank you very much, Josh. And Jamie, how about these onboard cams?
Let's hop on with my favorite, Stuart Friesen. He's going to roll from the 3rd position right up front. Very fast truck in practice, really confident about it. And we got the bumper cam. We're going to look right down on track level and see how Stuart's able to operate through what's going to be a lot of traffic tonight.
I love that view.
I do too.
Guys, we're going to go up to the front row and ride along in the Safe Light Toyota with Chandler Smith. And the nice thing about it, Mikey, you know what you like? That visor cam. We're going to have that visor cam here. There it is with Chandler Smith. Look how high he is. He's going to look right up to the top left corner of that windshield in these bank corners. Going to be a great ride from Chandler Smith. Guys, want to see? Let's see what John Hunter Nemechek's thinking right now.
Bye.
Hey, John Hunter Nemechek, Phil Parsons in the box booth. You got a copy? Hey, John Hunter Nemechek, Phil Parsons in the box booth. You got a copy?
Well, when they moved to the backup truck, maybe they didn't fix the
10 away.
They didn't fix the radio that he could talk to you on.
Well,
Phil.
we can hear him obviously, but
3.
yeah, but that's also a different truck for them too. So we could be concentrating on where everything is inside that truck.
And you know, I saw on social media of him helping wrap the truck, helping inside the truck, getting his seat exactly how he wanted it. So there was a lot of work that went into getting this number 4 ready after that practice crash.
Yeah, and of course, what a week it was, or 2 weeks, I guess, since John Hunter Nemechek had that great win at Kansas Speedway on the last lap, getting around Carson Hocevar. It was such a tremendous win for John Hunter and a heartbreak for Hocevar at Kansas last week.
Yeah, different strategy. Carson Hocevar was trying to make it on fuel. John Hunter Nemechek had to pit under green with tires. Was coming. We kept watching the lap time. He got closer and closer and closer and finally got to him on the last lap while Carson Hocevar was having fuel issues as well.
And it was a wild pit strategy for Carson Hocevar's crew chief Phil Gould. Threw the Hail Mary. It was his only option, and he almost got it done, but ended in heartbreak, and Nemechek finished out round 1 with that win, joining his teammate Chandler Smith and also Grant Enfinger, who won the playoff opener at Indianapolis Raceway Park. And speaking of Enfinger,
All right, everybody knows what's on the line tonight. So I know everybody's worked as hard as they can to get us here and to bring us the best piece we can here tonight. So see what happens here in 200 laps.
I like his chances. Great short track racer. We talked about the win up in Indy on the short track there. A couple more top 5 finishes in this round.
Second here last year.
He just gets it on these little tracks. I talk about Friesen being my favorite, but Grant Enfinger's a guy that you better keep your eye on.
and how about Enfinger? He wins that race at IRP, finishes the first round with 3 top 5s, the only driver to do that, the best average finish in round 1, and he comes in here to the round of 8, and he's, 7th of 8.
By the way, you're last.
Yeah.
You might as well tie for last.
Congratulations.
Yeah, great job in the first round.
But that's the significance of the playoff points that are accumulated during the course of the regular season, and that's why those are so important.
Every race matters all year long, and every playoff point, stage points, all the points you can garner any way you can. We know that the new playoff system rewards winning. That's obvious, but you better be consistent and strong at every stage of the race if you want to be around come Phoenix, when 4 of them are going to race for a championship.
It was just 3 points that separated Carson Hocevar from advancing here into the round of 8, and you look over the course of 18, 19 races, and you think where you could have gotten 3 points, or a point here, a point there, and it all matters. You see the 38 and 4 dropping to the rear, and Chandler Smith in that 18 truck will be on the inside of the front row for this start.
None of the speeds are on the computer, so NASCAR, if you're listening, we don't have no pit road speed.
That can create some issue.
Well, the teams know what theirs needs to be, so The driver has a little bit more responsibility on him right now, making sure that he maximizes. That's what it's all about, Phil. Not only the pit stop for the crew, but the driver maximizing every step along the way on pit road, but never speeding. This is a long pit road under caution. Many opportunities to make a mistake.
You have to come down both sides under caution too, so there's a lot of time to be gained or lost.
And I can't imagine we won't have enough cautions where all pit stops will be under the caution flag.
Some of the biggest names in series history have won here at Bristol. This is the 25th time the NASCAR Truck Series is racing here at this iconic speedway. Kyle Busch, a 4-time winner. Ron Hornaday and won a couple of times. Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Mark Martin. Okay, Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I got it. I saw you waving at me. I saw you.
I didn't think he was paying attention, Michael.
I was trying to ignore you, but I'm going to give you your props.
We were wadding up paper throwing bits over here.
He just kept on going with Carl Edwards and all those other names.
Like a scene from Anchorman.
give me the one memory that jumps out at you right away when I say Bristol win, Mike.
Just thrilling for my team. You know, they work so hard. You want to go to Bristol and be the man. Have the guys that get the championship, get that win.
Past David Pearson for the win. One of my all-time heroes.
Wow. How big? That's huge. Who's going to add their name to the list? Chandler Smith. He scored his first career win here a year ago when he won this race. Or maybe the guy starting in the pole position on the outside of the front row, Derek Kraus. What a place to gain your first career win. Smith did it last year. Maybe it's Kraus's night tonight. Racing at Bristol. Kraus gets clear and goes to the point, trying to sort itself out.
Oh, Stewart sideways. Remember, guys, General Tire rubber from those Arca Menards cars. That's what's on the racetrack right now.
And they are scratching it right off, though. So in a few laps, these trucks are going to start handling well. But who can hang on until then? Bailey Curry in the 44 truck, career best start for him. He's up on the outside, hanging right in there.
Friesen was really good in practice. You want to keep your eye on him. If that truck is anything like it was in practice earlier today, this could be a big bounce back for Friesen after being so disappointed with the way they ran last week at Kansas.
Curry cannot get down, just running that high line. And you can see all throughout practice, Vince, that low line right down to the yellow line is where these trucks were running the fast laps. So you want to make sure you get down there as soon as you can. Curry's been able to do that just ahead of the 16 truck.
Keep an eye. I'm sorry, Michael. Keep an eye on that 25 truck of Matt DiBenedetto. We some great side-by-side racing. A little bit of contact. Colby Howard, the 91, the 17 of Taylor Gray.
A little bit of contact throughout the field, but a clean start as we're 6 laps in. Watch Friesen have to gather it up. Boy, you're talking about averting disaster right out of the gate.
Well, for him and Grant Finger, that truck turned hard right. Grant was able to give him just enough room. And then look at this little boxing match off turn 2. Colby Howard, he's all over the place.
Little close quarters boxing, huh?
And this is Bristol right here. And there's John Hunter Nemechek and Zane trying to be patient and smart. They don't want to push the issue too much because get a truck sideways, you can get collected in a hurry when you're this deep in traffic.
Well, they're big rivals. John Hunter Nemechek in that 4 and Zane Smith in the 38. Coming into this season, certainly considered the 2 favorites to win the championship. Smith ended up winning the regular season title, and John Hunter Nemechek has made a charge late in the season to get things back on track after hitting a rough patch during the middle of the year.
Caden Honeycutt in the 30 truck up on that high side giving way, but down up ahead of these guys, nobody's giving way. They're battling for positions and hanging right on the bottom of the track.
And the good news for these 2 drivers, the more trucks they can get in front of, that's the more trucks they can put between themselves and our leader, who is right now Derek Kraus. They're already a half a lap behind because of all this traffic.
See Jesse Little in the 02. He announced this will be his last race as a driver. He's just ahead of John Hunter and working hard.
Leaning a little bit on Lawless Allen there in the 45.
Working on that left rear quarter pedal of that 45. That's how hard he's working.
And the left rear tires got the Goodyear letters all scrubbed off of it already.
And there you see the 4 of Nemechek jumping to the outside. And Zane Smith running right there with him. Trying to work together to get up through this field, and right now running 27th and 28th after starting 35th and 36th. The leader, Derek Kraus, is about to come up on traffic already. Start putting some others a lap down here at Bristol.
Stage 1 underway here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Derek Kraus of the 19 continues to lead. Derek started on the pole, the second pole position of his career. Now, Derek has had an interesting season. He's still looking for his first win. He was the first driver to not make the cut in the playoffs. So, as he leads the start of this race, hoping to be a playoff spoiler tonight here at Bristol, Derek Kraus of the 19 off to a strong start here this evening.
Suspension on the warpath. Our Liv Morgan stays as champion number, plus a fatal four-way tag team extravaganza. The winner gets the Usos. An all-new edition of Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, tomorrow night on Fox.
Got a different kind of SmackDown going on right now at Bristol, and the lead has tightened up. The 19 of Derek Kraus, the pole winner, is the leader. 18 Chandler Smith started alongside on the front row, is right on the back bumper as they have come up on traffic, putting other trucks a lap down. It doesn't take long to get into traffic when you're turning laps in the 16-second range here at Bristol, and we've got one up into the wall, and that's the 12 of Spencer Boyd, but still green.
We saw sparks out from the right front wheel as Stuart Friesen was going by him, and I wondered what that was, and it continued. We watched him some more, and obviously something went wrong with that 12 truck.
He can't seem to get to the bottom. There he goes. Nice move. Getting out of the way, get to pit road, leave this thing green. Tell you, there's a couple of racers, Zane Smith and John Hunter Nemechek, they wanted that caution to fly.
See, they're the sparks we were talking about. They're coming out of the right front wheel. I'm not sure exactly what that was, but no doubt it contributed to the situation for Spencer. You see right there, he goes in the corner, and looks like the right front tire went down.
Battle for the lead.
Chandler Smith on the bottom gets it from Derek Kraus, and Grant Enfinger is right there putting the pressure on Kraus now for second.
Boy, Chandler Smith's picking them up and putting them down.
Such a great track for him. 3 starts, 3 top 5s, including that win last year.
We penciled him in, you said it in the opening, Vince, as our favorite for this championship right now, based strictly on performance, week in and week out. He's the strongest, and he's proven it right now.
Don't you think he would love to jump up there and put John Hunter and Zane a lap down? Now, once he gets there, maybe he can get there, but it's going to be hard to pass those guys when he does.
On board with Stuart Friesen, and that's Ty Majeski just ahead of him. Friesen running 5th. Oh, look at this. 3 wide with Nemechek in the middle, and got a little bump from Jesse Little. Jesse's probably figuring, hey, it's my last race. I don't mind giving a little payback here and there if I have to.
And he's going to work for NASCAR, so anybody messes with him, he'll remind him of that.
Parker Klickerman in that 75, the blue and white.
There's Stuart Friesen around Majeski for that 4th spot. Corey Heim heating up the back of Majeski.
Heim in 6th. That 51 truck, another one out of the Kyle Busch stable. Those 3 Kyle Busch Motorsports trucks in the field tonight. 7 wins this season. Chandler Smith has 3 victories. John Hunter Nemechek 2. Corey Heim 2. Heim's got his 2 wins in just 12 starts. It's been quite a season for the youngster.
See, now the leaders are having to go around the outside to lap these trucks. See, the 56 of Timmy Hill jumps up in front of Derek Kraus. That'll cost him a little time.
No easy laps at Bristol. 20 to go here in stage 1. Back at Bristol in the Camping World Truck Series, presented by Blue Emu, and under caution for the first time tonight, Josh Rayom, that 43 truck with heavy rear end damage, and as Rayom was stopped on track, the 7 of Raja Karuth came onto the scene and tried to avoid Rayom, but suffered some right side damage.
Rayom loose into 1, maybe a little bit of too much rear brake, and watch how long he slides along. And then late in the going, Raja came in and made contact. Makes you wonder if maybe Raja got bumped in the back when he tried to slow down, or some miscommunication.
It looks like Josh, as you mentioned, just got in the corner a little bit too hard, and Raja came along and Not sure exactly what happened. Again, certainly could have been contact from another vehicle if he backed off to miss the accident or to slow down and somebody ran in the back of him.
We're wrecked, but he slid into him. Why didn't you say anything? I never heard you. I never heard you either. Well, then my push-to-talk's not working because I told him, whoa, 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 slow down, wrecking ahead.
Communication there, Trey Poole, the spotter, and Bono Mannion, the crew chief, and it's so loud. I mean, it is one of the most difficult tracks for communication. Typically, spotter to driver is a little more efficient than that, though.
Yeah, it must have been some sort of an issue. Obviously, the spotter felt like he said something, and Raja nor Bono either heard him.
You see, that's what it looks like at 125, 30 miles an hour running into the outside wall and getting collected by another truck. A lot of damage can be done at Bristol.
The good news for Raja, though, it didn't look like there was too much damage on the right side unless he got into that rear wheel.
I think that rear end's out of skew. We'll have to see if he can run when he gets going, but looked a little bit messed up. He's a couple laps down besides that.
That's too bad. Getting to the late laps here in stage one.
Cautions out here at Bristol, 42 laps into stage one. Getting ready to stack up our first restart of the day. Now you'll notice Zane Smith and John Hunter Nemechek have made their way up to 23rd and 24th after starting this race, 35th and 36th at the very end of the field. The two of them obviously hoping to gain some positions here on the restart. Now, it's worth noting, the only time, I should say, the furthest back we've seen a winner here at Bristol start in the field, Sammy Smith. He won here in 2020, and he started this race in the 17th position. So if John Hunter Nemechek or Zane Smith were to win the race today, they would be the furthest back in the field we've ever seen a winner come to victory lane here at Bristol. Like I said, a lot of positions to be gained on a restart, so keep an eye on those two trucks as we're getting ready to go green here in just a few laps.
We're back at Bristol Motor Speedway, 10 laps to go in the first stage here. As we watch John Hunter Nemechek, who has just left pit lane, is in his attempt to come up through the field. It was a clean stop for them. They gave him a fresh windshield, pulled off that tear-off, 4 new Goodyear tires. He even said to the team as he left pit lane, good job, guys. But for number 38, that Zane Smith truck that also started at the back of the field, it was a very long first pit stop for them. So we saw them on pit lane again just now. He's now leaving. The reason being that they had to come back is that they made a mistake. They were making big adjustments. They went 2 turns too far, had to bring him back in to rewind just a little bit.
Well, our the first 18 trucks stayed out. We thought that would be the case for the leaders, and this is going to bring up some interesting strategy come the end of this first stage. The times don't fall off much. We've had a couple of cautions. Does Chandler Smith and our leaders pit when we end this stage?
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for them maybe to stay on the racetrack. If they do pit, then obviously that's going to give Zane and John Hunter an advantage because they will have track position then. But you can certainly go 110 laps to the end of the second stage from the start.
You can see we're at the choose rule. Go whichever way you want. See what Grant Enfinger thinks about his truck so far.
I think that 19 started going away, Jeff, but I think a lot of that was he was just stuck behind that 9 truck, you know, and that's how much air plays havoc with you even here.
Air.
Yeah,
imagine that
on a short track.
That's how technical and how precise things are, and that's what Grant's analysis of what slowed down the 19 truck of Derek Kraus.
It won't take long to finish off this first stage. Taking the green, there will be 8 laps remaining. Chandler Smith jumps out to the point. Derek Kraus on the bottom, Stuart Friesen on the outside, battling for second.
Good corner by Stuart Friesen. Kraus got a little bit sideways off her too. Stewart's got that spot.
Benedetto up top and Enfinger banging doors.
What about DeBenedetto up into the top 5? Runner up to Denny Hamlin in the Cup race here just a few years back. We know how good he is at Bristol.
Eckes in that 98 trying to gain some spots on the bottom. Corey Heim outside him.
Little damage on the 44 of Bailey Curry. Someone got into his left rear. Has a tire rub. Look at that.
Kosovar stuck out on the outside in that 42. You see that tire rub as Mike mentioned and the smoke coming off that 44 truck there. You see the damage.
And that's metal rubbing that tire right there. Maybe it'll find its own clearance eventually.
Well, he's got a great truck. Talked about his qualifying effort in the top 10, and he still runs there, heating up Corey Heim for that 8th spot.
Ben Rhodes making a move on Kosovar. Kosovar kind of stuck on the outside, unable to get down. Now he gets in line.
Jake Garcia, another guy that had a great qualifying effort, and Haley Deegan in that one Monster Energy truck. She's up to 14th and got a strong truck early.
Back here, some of the trucks that came to pit road. See John Hunter Nemechek for just a moment. John Hunter's being shown right now in the 22nd spot.
Chandler Smith continues to lead the way, coming to 2 to go. 2 laps left here in stage 1. Stuart Friesen really showed good speed in practice, and he's right there closing the gap on Chandler Smith.
Look how Smith's eating up that bottom. I love looking at that. That makes me want to be behind the wheel. He's just right down on the yellow line, digging. That's a great handling truck. And Stuart Friesen is able to match lap times with him each lap.
Final lap in stage 1. Chandler Smith finishing the job, and he's going to be the stage 1 winner here at Bristol. 4th stage win of the season. And that all-important playoff point that he gets to take with him if he needs it to get to Phoenix. He won this race a year ago. It was his first career win. Trying to go back-to-back at Bristol. Chandler Smith off to a good start.
Stage 1 is complete here at Bristol. Chandler Smith, your stage 1 winner. But take a look at that second place finisher in the stage, that 52 truck of Stuart Friesen, another playoff driver who's looking to gain some points here tonight. Stuart enters this race 5th place position in the playoff standings, 4 points below the cut line. He has 6 starts here at Bristol and has a runner-up finish. That is his best. No wins here at this track, and he finished 4th in this race last year. So strong start already here in stage 1 for that 52 team who's looking to solidify their spot in the next round of the playoffs tonight.
Five of the 8 drivers still in the championship hunt got stage points from stage 1. Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen, Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski, Christian Eckes snagging those valuable points. And this is an opportunity now for pit stops.
If you want to.
You could go to the end of stage 2. You'd have enough fuel to do so.
Differing strategies. First 3 stayed out. Here come several others. Majeski stays, Eckes.
It's going to be pretty split up in the top 10, don't you think?
Let's go downstairs to Josh.
Yeah, let's talk about the 23 of Grant Enfinger. Said he started to lose grip towards the end of that run. He said it's like both rights had too much air pressure in them, so they're going to free him up a little bit as he gets tires as well, Jamie.
For Corey Hyman, the number 51, he said he needs to be freed up. But number 2, he said he can manage the entry, but not the exit. So that was his problem today. Before practice and qualifying, he spent a lot of time with Chandler Smith just to get some pointers. This is Corey's very first truck race here, and he wanted to know how the track changes from day to night. So he got those pointers from Corey. It's working out for him right now, Vince.
Yeah, it looked like they put a rubber in the right rear there as well. So some pretty significant adjustments being made by these pit crews. We saw that earlier with Zane Smith coming to pit road and that wrench going to the back end there, and still working on getting the handling of these trucks to be just right. It's Bristol running for the championship. Who's going to get the edge tonight?
Getting ready to take the green here with 139 laps to go in tonight's Truck Series race. Take a look at that starting position there of that number 66 of Ty Majeski. He's going to restart 4th. Ty, a playoff driver, making his first Truck Series start here tonight at Bristol. Now, he does have one Xfinity Series start at this track, but this is his first full-time season in this series. Still looking for win number 1, but is actively progressing through the playoffs, already making his way through round 1. Now, it's also worth noting a rookie in this series. He has 13 top 10s already this season and a very strong start already to today's race. So, playoff driver in that 66, Ty Majeski, starting this restart in the 4th position.
Sunday, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers head to New Orleans to take on the Saints in NFC South Showdown. Or you could check out other regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Well, 1 week into the NFL season, there's already been upsets and drama and a couple of tough injuries.
Lions got beat, Vince.
Well, it's early.
Panthers got beat.
How about some strategy talk from Ben Rhodes?
I almost don't want to come here. It's only going to be about a 40-lap shootout. Yeah, I agree with that. Get some stage points. Totally up to you. Thanks. If you think we can hold them off, I mean, they couldn't pass the 20, you know what I mean, a lap car. So, I mean, I'd be game to try it.
I like it.
I do too.
That's exactly what I would have done. Having track position, just hold it, get those 4 tires in about 50 laps.
The top 8 stayed out. Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen, Derek Kraus, Ty Majeski, and Christian Eckes, Ben Rhodes, Hocevar, and Purdy. Stage 2, wave the green. We're racing again at Bristol.
Got to make a note of this, Phil. That inside line struggling getting launched. As the laps wind down, that's become more and more critical. Stuart Friesen's going to lose second.
We saw Sammy Smith win the ARCA race on a late restart from the outside, Michael.
Vince, you said the top 8 stayed out, and there's a bit of a bumper back to the guys that just pitted at the end of this stage. 6 or 8 trucks that pitted prior to the end of the stage. So many differing strategies, as we thought we would see here at Bristol.
Yeah, you've got basically 3. Those that haven't pitted, the 8 that haven't pitted. You've got some that pitted at lap 43 to 45, and then others at lap 60.
Look at Christian Eckes. Gains that spot from teammate Ben Rhodes. Eckes is fast.
And Eckes said this wasn't one of his favorite places, but he's looking pretty comfortable so far tonight in that 5th spot.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier this week, Vince, and he said, I'm not really crazy about it, but I know I'm going to have a good truck, and we're going to maximize, make the most of it after that dramatic race he had at Kansas getting into the round of 8.
You know, with Ben Rhodes being the defending series champ and Matt Crafton there in that neon yellow, the 3-time series champion, you'd have thought those two would have been the big stories from ThorSport this year, but it's actually, I think it's been Eckes and Majeski who've been really been carrying the flag and waving the flag for the ThorSport group. See where the ThorSport guys are running there on the left-hand side of the screen. Of course, Majeski, Eckes, and Rhodes still in the playoff picture. Crafton was eliminated last week at Kansas.
Remember how good Rhodes started the season, though, Vince? I mean, just about a top 5 every time out, and then all of a sudden it looked like they just lost the speed somewhere after that big win at Bristol on the dirt.
Look at this battle, man. Corey Heim inside of Matt Crafton. Matt wasn't giving it up. Now he's going to cut over and take Haley's line away. She's squeezing in on the bottom. She's doing a nice job tonight, making some great passes. Got a good solid truck. Austin Self right behind her in that 22 truck, trying to take a spot away from Matt.
Matt desperately wants the bottom of the racetrack back.
Expecting an announcement soon in regards to Haley Deegan getting an opportunity to run in an Xfinity race yet this season. Look forward to that. How about Chandler Smith, Jamie?
Well, you mentioned that those top 8 after the first stage did not come to pit road, and Chandler Smith was talking to his crew chief, Danny Stockman. He said, "No, I really feel like our long run speed is going to be better than anybody else's on these tires." He feels really strong with the setup that they gave him to start off this race. And one of the questions he was asking was about him and Stuart Friesen in the number 52. He said, "Are we the only 2 able to keep that pace?" And you can hear Danny Stockman with a smile on his face. Said, "Yeah, you 2 are the best out there in that first stage. Just stick with it and stay smart."
Well, we're not seeing a great deal of lap time fall off. That was a 15:78 last time by from Chandler Smith. Just a couple of tenths off of the fastest lap period.
Stuart Friesen runs 3rd, chasing Kraus in 2nd, and Chandler Smith, the leader at Bristol.
126 laps to go here from Bristol Motor Speedway. How about that 61 truck of Chase Purdy, currently running in the 7th position. Chase, a part-time driver in this series. He only has one start in his career here at Bristol, and he finished 30th. So already a substantial amount of experience here going for it in Chase, as we have 124 laps to go here for Bristol Motor Speedway.
Back at Bristol Camping World Truck Series, Connor Mozak in the 32. The 23-year-old from Charlotte in his second start of the season. He's brought out the caution. 25 to go here in the second stage. Chandler Smith won stage 1, and he continues to lead the race. The 33 of Chris Hacker gets the free pass. Take a look and see what happened to Mozak here.
Racing inside.
Yep.
Jesse, right? Is that Jesse in the 0-2?
Jesse Little.
And Stuart Friesen,
Wow.
boy, he saved it there. And how about, was that Majeski that came up around the top side?
Majeski or Eckes won.
It was Majeski that came up and
Stewart turned dead sideways here, turning left.
And if you look to the right there, that's Matt DiBenedetto coming to pit road. See him down at the bottom of the screen? That was unscheduled. I don't know what kind of issue he had. Watch this.
Ooh, you could hear the tires squeal on Friesen's truck when he turned hard left.
yeah, had it pointed to about 10 o'clock.
There's the 25 of DiBenedetto. He's now a lap down.
He was a top running truck that pitted at the end of the stage. He was running 15th when this happened. I'm telling you, Michael, we're inside a window right now with only 114 laps to go. If I'm those guys that pitted on 60 that are outside the top 10, I believe I pit now, and I'm done pitting. Josh.
Yeah, and let's talk about the 66 of Ty Majeski coming into pit now. The big issue for him, a little overheating, so they're going to pull some tape off the front of the grill, give him some fuel and tires as well, Jamie.
Derek Kraus, who was our pole sitter, we've seen him running inside of the top 3 really all night, making a pit stop right now. He was telling his crew chief, Charles tonight, that he needed to be tighter on entry. They're making an air pressure adjustment. They're going down in the track bar, really staying conservative with their approach. They don't want to change the truck too much because Derek's been pretty happy all night.
I got to agree with you, Phil. With 113 to go, I think it's worth the gamble.
Yeah, without a doubt, if you're not worried about stage points, for sure, this is the time to pit. We've got guys, though, like Grant Enfinger, the 23, Ty Majeski, that obviously are in that championship battle that pitted anyway, but we know that they can go the rest of the way.
Man, it's so dependent on where you are in the points about being in that top 4. You know, you got to have an insurance policy, and stage points at the end of the stage could be a big deal if they don't collect them. So be interesting to see how this plays out.
A lot of people may be weighing that option of the stage points versus being in position to win the race at the end, especially if you're not one of the playoff drivers. If you're a Derek Kraus, why not?
Yeah,
roll the dice.
It's a no-brainer there for sure. But if you're Stuart Friesen, Chandler Smith, and you can get 16, 18, 20 stage points prior to the end of the race, and you know you have a good enough truck to race, even if you give up some track position to these trucks that are pitting now, that you can get back into the 15th or 15th to 10th, then you're going to gain a lot of points.
How about that perspective from the race leader, Chandler Smith?
Nobody told me about the pace and whatnot. If anybody else is coming. Chandler, you got to quit worrying about that mud, Everett. You're doing a great job. We're trying to control this race here and think about what our strategy needs to be, okay?
What, was that a nice way of saying be quiet?
Yes. Yes.
Shut up and drive, I think is what that was.
Yeah. Most of my crew chiefs would not have been that nice.
No, mine either.
Yeah.
And that's just part of the game. You got to understand the driver's out there on an island. He's all by himself. He's got to ask somebody some questions and make some comments. It's human nature.
Well, and Chandler Smith, I mean, let's face it, he's only just turned 20. I mean, he doesn't have a ton of experience. I mean, those are questions that I think would be natural for him to have, right?
I want to point out the importance of stage points. Maybe this will explain it a little bit further. What about Kyle Busch at Darlington? You know, he ran up in the front in both stages, grabbed a lot of points, blew his engine late. But because of those stage points, he actually gained on the projected cut line in the Cup playoffs. So that's how important these stage points can be. And if you don't have a victory, somebody will go to Phoenix on points, one truck. And here you see the points. And the stage points earned
coming into this race from the round of 10, from the first 3 playoff races. John Hunter Nemechek from Kyle Busch Motorsports scored the most of 48. And you bring up Kyle. How about the big announcement this week with Kyle indicating that he's going to go race for Richard Childress Racing, and the ramifications and the trickle-down effect that that's going to have on Kyle Busch Motorsports, the truck team?
Yeah, I felt like when Kyle made his announcement, we would have more questions than we did answers. And certainly the truck team is something that we're dearly interested in knowing about. And the thing about a truck is, though, Vince, in about 4 or 5 days, it can go from a Toyota to a Chevy. It's not that much of a workload in the truck series.
All the same engines.
The engines are the same. The chassis are the same. That's just maybe a nose and a tail section. So that won't be a huge deal for those guys to switch over if that's indeed what happens.
Well, and Kyle indicated at that press conference that his KBM trucks would be badged Chevrolet next season. But boy, you know, TRD and the Toyota gang will load up and be powerful again next year regardless as we go back to green.
Stuart Friesen, you see, was running second. He took the outside because he didn't get a good run on that last restart. But now Christian Eckes is hanging right in there on the bottom.
Less than 20 to go here in stage 2. Oh, Friesen trying to get around and protect second. That's Eckes down there on his left rear.
Friesen's doing a great job just taking up just enough room to keep Eckes from driving up beside him.
Listen how quickly he got the gas, and look at the gap he put on Eckes. That's a good handling 52 truck.
When Friesen really struggled at Kansas, finished 20th, got a speeding penalty in the previous race and finished 11th at Richmond. This is the best he has been in the playoffs, even with that 4th place finish at IRP. This is the most speed we've seen out of him.
And it was obvious when practice started, he could really wheel that truck. He's an aggressive driver, and he was able to really run that truck hard in practice.
How about the 66 of Majeski running 15th, Josh?
We saw the 66 of Ty Majeski just come into pit, and the conversation on the radio was, do you want to win the battle or do you want to win the war? They want to win the war, so they came into pit to go for this win, and that's the type of mentality the 66 has right now.
Last time by, Chandler Smith ran a 1577 on those tires that have 100 laps total on them now. Bill, that's only about a 1/10 of a second slower than his fastest lap period. So staying out, pitting under that caution might be the key to winning this race. But the best truck on lap times overall is our leader, Chandler Smith. Can he fight back from the deficit that he's going to have after he pits and those others don't?
It just doesn't look like the racetrack has widened out that much.
And speaking of fighting back, how about the 4 and the 38? Nemechek and Zane Smith started at the rear of the field. Nemechek up to 8th in that backup truck. That backup, by the way, one of the most successful trucks in the fleet at Kyle Busch Motorsports, a 7-time winner through the years, who was designated as their backup for all the remaining races except for Talladega. So it was very close to being ready to just roll off the hauler. The biggest effort went into changing the decals on it, but it's a good one.
What about Caden Honeycutt? He's in that 30 truck right in between a couple of our playoff drivers, Zane Smith there behind him and John Hunter just ahead. Great job by that young racer. We see a lot of talent out of this kid, and he's showing it off again tonight.
I like that, you know, look at the drivers that aren't the playoff guys that are up inside the top 10. Taylor Gray, again, just 17 years old. Chase Purdy, Taylor's brother Tanner, running 7th. Honeycutt, as you mentioned, Mike, in that 9th spot. And then just outside the top 10, Parker Kligerman, Colby Howard, Derek Kraus. It's a nice mix of playoff guys and non-playoff drivers.
And what about Parker Kligerman? We said after qualifying, Phil, he didn't have any pace in practice or qualifying. We commented he'll be in the top 10 before the night's over.
Knocking on the door.
He's there now. He's just a talented racer.
Less than 10 to go here in stage 2. How about that 15 of Tanner Gray? Jamie?
Well, Tanner Gray was pretty down on himself when I talked to him pre-race. He said they were so bad in practice and qualifying, he wouldn't even be a part of the conversation tonight. Running inside the top 10 right now, though, he's been on the radio with Mike Hillman Jr., his crew chief. They're telling him, just keep doing what you're doing. Every single lap, it's working. You're running your best laps here at this late stage of the race, so be happy with what you're doing right now. But just to break a little bit of news on Tanner Gray, he's actually going to be leaving here after the race tonight, go back to North Carolina, where he's going to fly to Reading, Pennsylvania, and return to NHRA Pro Stock Racing for the first time since 2018 when he won that series championship. So big weekend on the line for Tanner Gray.
Well, that's for sure. Less than 5 to go here in this second stage, and he's running inside the top 10.
And the lead is tightening up,
Yes, it is. The race leader, Chandler Smith, being heated up by Stuart Friesen, and that blue and red 52 on board now with Friesen.
Friesen's going to get there before the end of this stage. Can he do anything with him?
A little different line from Chandler Smith, right on the yellow line. Friesen just a little bit off the yellow line. What does that tell you about the handling of the trucks?
I think I've just seen Stewart drive in harder than maybe some of the other trucks. Chandler is committed to run right on that yellow line, and Stewart's okay with diving in harder and bouncing up the hill a little bit.
And they were swapping fastest lap time every lap. It seems like if it wasn't Chandler with the fastest lap time, it was Stewart.
Last lap here in stage 2. Chandler Smith won the first stage, and he's about a quarter of a lap away from winning stage 2. Second time that Chandler Smith has swept the stages. Went on to win the last time he did it at Phoenix, and that was in the season finale a year ago.
How about Ben Rhodes getting a top 5 in this second stage?
Impressive run, and how about those playoff guys taking the top 4 spots? Smith, Friesen, Eckes, and Rhodes. Strong with the big noon Saturday game of the week. Number 6 Oklahoma battling Nebraska. Well, they got some issues there in Lincoln, don't they? Followed by number 12 BYU taking on number 25 Oregon. And in primetime, 3rd-ranked Ohio State hosting Toledo at the Horseshoe, 7 o'clock Eastern, all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Back here at Bristol, Stage 2 complete. Chandler Smith won Stage 1 and Stage 2. He's led 86 laps tonight. He only led 5 laps in the entire race when he won here last year.
A year ago, this race was dominated by Sheldon Creed. A late crash brought out the red flag, and Creed had a flat, and Chandler took advantage of it and drove off to the victory.
There's the stage points accumulated tonight. Nice bounce back performance from Stuart Friesen. Christian Eckes too, for that matter. Eckes really had to rally late in that race last week at Kansas just to advance and stay alive in the championship hunt. Pit road will be open this time, and we'll see which teams come for tires and adjustments. Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen, Eckes, Rhodes, and Chase Purdy. All drivers in the top 6 have yet to pit tonight, so you know they're all coming. And bringing others with them. Eckes, Rhodes involved. There's Christian Eckes. Josh?
Yeah, let's talk about the 98 of Christian Eckes. Like you mentioned, he said he's almost perfect on entry in the center of the turn, but he needs help on exit if he wants to make up any ground. But doing well for a track he's not too fond of so far. As far as the 52 of Stuart Friesen, he said he's a little tight in 1 and 2. He's been really good in 3 and 4. So he said if you make an adjustment, don't affect me in 3 and 4. So they said we'll just get you tires and fuels and send you on your way. Jamie?
And for Chandler Smith in the number 18, perfect on the sideboard. Coming into the pit lane, the biggest talk between the driver and the team was on the procedure just to get into the pit box. It's very different having to drive all the way around. For Chandler Smith, he said, I don't really want any big changes. I'm a little bit tight. Free me up a little bit, but he was really happy with the truck. John Hunter Nemechek also on pit road right now in the number 4 truck. This is the 2nd stop of the night for him, and it's taking just a little bit longer as he now exits pits lane as well, Vince.
Yeah, they put the wrench in the back end of that 4 truck again, gave it a couple of turns, and remember that is the backup truck, so but they're going the right direction with it, that's for sure. Nemechek continues to climb. Coming back for the 3rd and final stage.
One stage remaining here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and this is the first race of the 2nd round of the Truck Series playoffs. We're starting to see some of those different strategies come into play here this evening as playoff drivers have different agendas in getting themselves into the 2nd round. Now, it's worth noting the only surefire way for a driver to advance would be to get a win. It's also worth noting that there are only 2 drivers in the playoffs right now that do not have wins this season. That's Ty Majeski and Christian Eckes. We have seen a driver win the championship in the Truck Series without getting a win that season. That was Matt Crafton, the 3-time series champion back in 2019. But in speaking with the field this season, all of the playoff drivers, including Matt Crafton, agreed that they don't see that being the case this year. The level of talent in the high caliber competition that we're seeing in this series this season is tremendous compared to what we've seen in previous years. So if Ty Majeski and Christian Eckes want to ensure a spot in the championship 4, it's looking like they're going to have to get a win here tonight. Both trucks just pitted here as we're getting ready to start stage 3, so keep an eye on all of these playoff drivers as the agendas start to play through in stage 3.
Rome wasn't built in a day. And neither were the championship hopes of 8 drivers in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series playoffs. Now, these drivers take their title aspirations to the last great Coliseum. It's Bristol, baby.
Yeah, we're back at Bristol Camping World Truck Series playoff race presented by Blue Emu. The first race in the round of 8. If you're a playoff driver and you win this one tonight, you automatically will earn a spot and a chance to run for the championship in Phoenix. Hey, by the way, Josh Rayom transported to a local hospital for further evaluation after that stage 1 incident in which he backed into the wall. Zane Smith will be our leader on this restart. Smith didn't pit. He hasn't pitted since lap 45. That's about 75 laps, and we've got 80 to go.
I think it's borderline. I'm not sure they're overly concerned about it. We've had about 27, 28 laps of caution since he pitted.
Back under green, final stage, and there is Zane Smith trying to get to the front of the field, but Parker Kligerman not letting him get away just yet.
Sure did get an aggressive start. He was on the bottom, which we haven't seen before, but I think he thought maybe he could just get a jump on Parker.
Majeski rubbing. Majeski and Kligerman with some contact, and Derek Kraus right behind Majeski. Everybody taking the gloves off. Not that they had them on for long here in this one tonight anyway.
None of these guys are going to want Kligerman to get down to the bottom. Not one of these trucks will want him to get in front of them on the bottom.
He just hadn't had the speed our front runners have had. His tires are the second oldest on the track. Only Zane Smith's are older, but Zane got that lead, and you can't even see him anymore. He's gone.
Grant Enfinger trying to push the 19 of Derek Kraus by. That's going to open up the door for Grant Enfinger.
And Enfinger makes the pass, gets them both.
Oh, and look at Haley gets a bump from Matt Crafton. Talked earlier about how strong of a truck that one was. She's battling up inside the top 10.
Deegan is 6th.
You can see Kraus is all over the back of Kligerman. And Haley's going to be all over the back of Kraus in just a matter of a lap.
If that gap continues to grow, then Derek Kraus is going to get a little more aggressive, I think.
The top 3 are playoff drivers: Zane Smith, Ty Majeski, Grant Enfinger, and then 4th to 12th are all non-playoff guys. You got to go back to Chandler Smith in 13th.
Nemechek's back in 18th, fighting his way through the traffic, up to 17th behind Self.
Ben Rhodes back in the 22nd position.
There's Zane Smith. Last pitted on lap 45. As we've had about 25 laps of caution in that.
Between 25 and 30, 27, 28 laps.
So a fair amount of laps of caution. But what are they saying in that 38 camp, Jamie?
Well, I talked to the crew chief, Chris Lawson. I asked him about the fuel, and he said, you know, there is obviously a finite amount of fuel in that tank, but this has been their objective all night long. When they made that early pit stop, they told Zane to start saving fuel at that point. He said, as long as the race continues in the same rhythm we've had so far, he's going to be right on the line, but he should be good.
I like the call to get that track position. Also like the way Zane got the bottom, chose the bottom on the restart, got out and got a gap on him. But Ty Majeski, his tires are 40 laps fresher. You can see he's gained right up on Zane Smith. There you see the last lap pitted in our pylon. Zane Smith 45, Majeski, Enfinger 87.
I like the 87 laps, obviously. Even Garcia down Thompson at 60 laps, I think that's fine. It's going to be a bit of a stretch as we see, obviously, the 91 being moved a little bit by Taylor Gray. Ooh, and then a little hard contact as he gets sideways.
And not just a little contact, they were really banging. How about that?
That'll mess up both trucks.
Yeah.
A lot of smoke on the 91, and Gray was having such a fantastic run. He's dinged his truck up now, and he's all the way back outside the top 20.
Meanwhile, Ty Majeski's closing the gap on the 38 of Zane Smith.
We saw the 38 of Zane.
Get the right call. You hold the bottom and a few of them get just going to be better than going to 20 and trying to get back through here. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think it's our only play.
Spotter Josh Williams talking back with the crew chief. They made the call and then convinced themselves it was a good call.
Yeah, what I was starting to say is they made a lot of adjustments on that truck on that early caution flag. Obviously, they didn't get a whole lot of practice because of the mechanical issue, but that truck's running some fast laps right now. Obviously, Tom Majeski running second is able to match those lap times, but I think it was a great call by the 38 as long as he has enough fuel, guys.
Tom Majeski showing some speed, closing the gap on the 38 as well. Going to break, but you won't miss a lap. Going to keep it side by side.
Laps to go here from Bristol. At 51, truck of Corey Heim continues to hold on to a top 10 position, currently running 8th. Corey making his first start here at Bristol. However, in 15 starts in this series, he does already have 2 wins and 2 pole positions. When it comes to short track racing, 2 top 5s as well. So if Corey could hold on to a top 10 finish, not only would it be, of course, his best finish here at his first start at Bristol, but it would be a pretty solid finish on this 2022 resume. You've been watching it side by side. Camping World Truck Series racing from Bristol here on FS1. Zane Smith, your leader in the 38. He's won 3 times this season as the regular season champion, but he hasn't won since Kansas back in May. Been runner-up 3 times since then. Ty Majeski, best career finish, second. That was at Kansas in May. He ran second to Zane Smith, and right now they run 1-2 again.
Vince, how about the guy running third, Grant Enfinger? That's a huge surprise, isn't it, that he's running well on a short track?
Enfinger seemed to be getting a lot of respect from the outside, but all those in the garage know that you better count on having to deal with Enfinger when it's all said and done at the end.
Haley Deegan there again. He continues to hold off Matt Crafton. There's been some bumping and banging between those two as Chandler Smith closes into this battle.
And you see, Michael, 52 laps to go. That sounds like a lot of laps, but when you're clipping off 4 laps per minute, it goes by pretty fast.
Chandler Smith diving to the inside now of Matt Crafton.
Look how tight that is. Barely able to stay off Crafton as he worked that wheel off turn 2 into the gas.
Oh, caution.
Oh, and around. It's the 33 of Hacker.
That'll do nothing but help Chandler. I'm sorry, Zane Smith, excuse me, who's trying to stretch it on fuel. Each one of these caution laps helps.
Here's Chris Lawson, the crew chief for Zane Smith.
He may be saying a lot of things right now, but one of the things he's not saying is we're going to pit.
It's too late, baby. See what happened to Chris Hacker. Oh, Eckes to the inside.
Eckes, yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to need that space.
Yeah.
Eckes is back in the 12th position, trying to fight for every stage, every point he can get toward the end of this race. Let's check out radio from Christian Eckes as he's all over Zane, or excuse me, Ty Majeski as he's all over Zane Smith.
tight to get do anything with them. Gonna get a chance here. Cool it off. One way to fix that tightness, that's to get in the lead.
That's
Joe
communication
Scheer,
from Joe Scheer, the crew chief, and
just get the lead.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's tight, because I'm not.
Joe Scheer,
just go get it.
Longtime crew chief of Johnny Sauter, and they won a lot of races together. Those two, championship as well.
You can see, Vince, that last pit stop in the pylon. It's glaring who's been out there the longest, and I'm going to be really interested to see where Zane Smith chooses on the restart. I think he took the bottom because he knew he could get the best of Kligerman, but what will he do with Majeski?
Let's get some insight into that 38 situation. Jamie Howes with the crew chief.
And that's Chris Lawson for Zane Smith. Talked about it earlier. You've been saving fuel. Zane's been saving fuel since he came into pit lane. How close is this going to be at the end of the race?
I think with this caution, we should be pretty good right here. I wasn't really worried about it, but you just never know. Green, white checkers and whatever else. You want to try and save as much as you can. And we're a little tight, too, so a little fuel weight never hurts. But I think we're okay.
Looking to go from the back to the front. Let's see if he can hold on, guys.
Third full-time season for Zane Smith, and the first 2 years he finished second in the championship. Came into this season certainly one of, if not the favorite, one of the two favorites, along with John Hunter Nemechek. And Zane has done nothing to disappoint. He's won 3 times. He's the regular season champ, and we mentioned that it's been on a little bit of a drought since winning his 3rd race at Kansas. He won 3 of the first 8, hasn't won since, but he's been in the top 5 multiple times. I think 7 times in the 11 races since then. He's been runner-up 3 times. It's not like he's been out to lunch. I mean, they've been right there. But
He's
just
been really
gotten
good.
The wins.
You're exactly right. 5 top 3 finishes in those 11 races. Been awfully good.
And he's followed in on track by the 66 of Ty Majeski, who I've said for a long time I think is maybe the story of the series, frankly. I mean, here's a guy that lost an opportunity at Roush. He lost an opportunity at Nice, and went to work.
He was in the shop.
Went to work at Thor Sport. Wasn't even racing. Was just working in the shop, and got some races on a part-time schedule last year, and earned an opportunity for a full-time ride this year, and he has been terrific. You see the points as they stand amongst the 8 playoff drivers there on the top of the screen. Let's go back downstairs to pit road. Jamie.
How about Parker Kligerman running inside of the top 5 right now after starting so far back? He was so disappointed after practice and qualifying. He was scratching his head saying, we've really never been in this position here. This is like our Super Bowl. This is the biggest race of the year for Henderson Motorsports. He said, just to tell you how big it is, it's the very first time in the entire career of this team that they brought a spare truck to the racetrack just in case. So they put a lot into this, and he said that we're going to throw everything we have at it, and it's all paying out right now. He told his team over the radio he just needs this race to go green as long as possible, but he does have to save fuel. Josh.
Well, what Grant Anfinger is asking is that lap traffic to get out of his way. He's saying his truck is really good. He just can't get around those lappers. And remember, this is a place Grant Anfinger very strong, never finished outside the top 10. And I said it off the top of the broadcast. He said if there's a race in the 2nd round he feels good about getting a win, it's this one.
I'm really interested, Josh, in this choice that Zane Smith has made. We saw the lead be held by the outside lane. He took on Kligerman on the bottom and made it work. What can he do with Majeski here?
Blue Emu race summary. Chandler Smith has won the first 2 stages and has really been dominant so far tonight, having led 88 laps. But right now, Chandler Smith finds himself in 8th, and Zane Smith is up front. And we are back green here at Bristol.
That's what I was afraid of. He just could not match the launch of Majeski.
And what Joe Scheer Jr. tell Ty Majeski, hey, the truck is tight, just get out front and you'll have clean air and it'll free right up.
He listened, didn't he? What a great move by Ty Majeski.
Is that a mistake, Mike, from Zane Smith?
I just think they went with their gut. He made it work, like I said the last time, but I just didn't see him being able to hold off Majeski. Maybe either way, Phil. Majeski was faster than Zane as he was catching him, so might have been a lost cause, but I do think that the outside is the correct place to pick. Oh, Haley gets loose in. Friesen's working him over.
Yeah, Crafton finally got around her as well after having been behind her for quite some time, and now Friesen, down on the bottom, gets loose, and maybe a little door bang there with the 1.
And make sure it didn't cut down that right front tire of Friesen's.
with Haley Deegan put up on the outside. It's like a train underneath as trucks go past.
She's going to squeeze down in front of the 16 of Ankrum. Man, this is a cluster.
Eckes in the 98, John Hunter Nemechek in the 4, back in 12th and 14th, and a couple of spots behind them is Ben Rhodes in the 99. Rhodes is 16th.
Corey Heim right there in the middle in the 51 truck. Remember, that truck is still racing for an owner's championship because it has not had the same driver throughout.
Caden Honeycutt in the 30, having a good run in 13th. There's Bailey Curry up there as well in the top 15.
Christian Eckes just ahead of Heim.
Many solid performances tonight from drivers that aren't playoff guys. But right now, Ty Majeski is the man out front by more than a second over Zane Smith.
Remember how fast the Roadrunner was in those cartoons? Roadrunner's on the side of that Majeski truck. We should have seen this coming.
Road Ranger, isn't it?
Oh.
It's close, though.
Yeah. The Ranger. The Ranger's in charge.
First start for Majeski in the Truck Series here at Bristol as an Xfinity Series start, but it's a young man that he's won a lot of races on short tracks around the country. A terrific late model racer. Still races a lot around, especially up in the Wisconsin area. Back to Haley Deegan in 10th, her best run of the season. She was also 10th at Mid-Ohio, but this is her strongest effort we've seen from her this year.
Right up front all night long. Getting a lot of heat from Eckes in that CMR roofing truck.
See the bit of a gap in front of Haley right there. Then Eckes realizes that. He knows that if he could get by Haley, then he could go up there and catch those other trucks.
Yeah, she's got a couple of fast ones right there behind her because Corey Heim is behind Eckes. Both those trucks have had good speed tonight.
Caden Honeycutt, that 30 truck moving in on the 51 of Heim. Great run for him.
Yes.
That young driver. 19 years old out of Texas.
And his best finish is 21st this season, and right now he's running well inside the top 15, currently 13th. So a career night for Honeycutt in the making.
And some of those races in the top, where he was in the top 20 most of the race, but just couldn't put it together. See if he can finish it off tonight as he slides up high, and John Hunter Nemechek takes a look on the bottom.
Tyler Ankrum having a good run as well. He's been top 15 in 7 of the last 9. We talked about their improved performance. He was 6th at IRP to open up the playoffs, and even though he's not a playoff driver, it was a terrific way to start the postseason for Tyler Ankrum, and he's there inside the top 10 again tonight. Damage on the right front, but no worse for wear.
A couple top 10 finish a couple years ago here at Bristol.
I talked to him last night too, Phil, and he said this is his favorite track.
Really?
So it's really cool to see him come to his favorite track, have a solid run inside the top 10.
Now the patience is running out here. We're almost to 25 laps to go, 27 laps to go right now. We saw Christian Eckes beating the rear bumper off Haley Deegan's truck.
Corey Heim just patiently watching on, looking on as Road Ranger keeps clipping through some lap traffic, putting Timmy Hill down a lap. First time he's been a lap down.
Majeski has stretched that lead. Now it's about a second over Zane Smith.
If I'm Zane Smith, Phil, I'm saving every drop of gas I can. I'm okay. I got a bit of a gap behind me. I'm okay with not catching our leader. I just need to finish this thing up. Hopefully it stays green flag and he can save enough fuel to get there.
How about Ben Rhodes again back in 17th? How concerned are you if you're a fan of Ben Rhodes?
Very. It's just been a theme lately. No speed. Hasn't been able to get to the front. Luckily, he scored some stage points. That helps the cause a bit.
Dean Thompson there right behind him in that 40 truck. How about the 99 of Rhodes, Josh?
Yeah, guys, and I talked to Rich Lucius before this race, so we got a wreck out on the track, guys. Back to you.
It is Dean Thompson, who we mentioned. Dean Thompson was right there behind Rhodes, and I understand there was maybe some contact.
Dean solid, you know, one of his most solid runs of the year, and then have it in like that's so disappointing.
I watched right as we went away from that shot. It looked like Tanner Gray had caught Dean, and it looked like Dean was taking a very defensive line going down the straightaway towards the corner. See if that confirms that right here. There's the 15 of Tanner, jumps to the inside, and then it was a block by the 40 of Dean Thompson. And
you get down toward inside 25 to go, those blocks aren't generally
well received, are they?
Exactly. You saw the pair of grays there.
Yeah, I mean, that's, if you're willing to make a block like that, you have to know that this is a possibility, unfortunately.
Who does this caution flag help, Phil? I know we're going to say Zane Smith, save a little bit of fuel. Parker Kligerman wanted it to run green. He knows he's better on the long run than he is the short. But Grant Enfinger now has a choice of which lane he's going to start in. Maybe that's an advantage for him. Friesen and Chandler Smith 7th and 8th.
And we know they have good trucks. They proved that early on in the race, so maybe they feel like they can grab a couple spots here on this restart as we take a look at crew chief for Ty Majeski, Joe Shear Jr. He's won here with Johnny Sauter before, won a championship with Johnny Sauter, and he's trying to make it to Phoenix with Ty Majeski.
And I just have to tell you, I don't think that was the last caution.
Do you know?
These guys get really, really aggressive as the laps wind down, and we're probably going to see some more crashes.
Like the shot of the pit box there of Joe Shear Jr. and saw the engineer with his hand in his head and on his head. There's a lot of nerves on those pit boxes down on pit lane. Under 20 to go. Who's going to win this opening race of the round of 8?
Caution is out once again with less than 20 laps to go in this race. Not what the 66 of Ty Majeski wants to see as he leads the field, hopefully on his way to his first series win, which would lock him in to the next round of the playoffs. But it's worth noting that in 16 of 24 Truck Series races here at Bristol, the final green flag run has been 10 laps or fewer. So you may have heard the broadcasters joking, but they are right. There's a good shot this will not be the last time we see this field bunched up for a restart. Getting ready for a late race restart here at Bristol.
And it may determine who's going to be the winner of this first race in the round of 8. Got a little radio from the race leader, Majeski.
Excellent job here. We just need to finish this off.
10-4, buddy, I got you. An old short track showdown.
We've got to win this race here.
Yeah.
Jamie's with the crew chief, Joe Shear Jr.
And we also heard Joe Shear Jr. earlier say, do you want to win the battle or do you want to win the war? There was a collective sigh when this caution came out. What kind of truck does Ty have to take to the end of the race?
We got a very good truck here. We're a little bit tight, but this clean air helped it for sure. And, you know, he's a great kid. We've been working hard. I got a great crew. We just really need to win this race or go on to Phoenix. But everything looks pretty good. We just got to get through this last restart here.
Looking to be the first to race to the championship, Vince.
A little bit of redemption for Joe as well. I mean, you know, Sauter fell on kind of hard times there in the end of their reunion or their relationship together. Just weren't having the success that they had had in the past.
You remember they actually took him off the road for a week or two last year, and left him at home and had maybe, I think, Bud Hafley or something call the shots. So I think, but it says a lot about Duke Thorson to keep Joe Shear there, knowing that he has a good guy here, and even bringing Johnny back. Johnny was paired with Junior Joyner and ran extremely well every race that they ran, just a handful of races. But it's been a great pairing between Joe Shear and Ty Majeski.
You could hear the emotion in Joe's voice there as he spoke with Jamie about the significance of this race and how important it would be. And remember, if you're one of those 8 playoff guys and you win this race, you guarantee yourself one of those 4 spots in the championship to run for the title at Phoenix, and you don't have to worry about Talladega in a couple of weeks.
Or just go have fun.
The pressure of Miami in a month.
Look at that team, so intense. This is all about execution. We're coming to the choose. I think Majeski takes the top.
He has to take the top. It worked so well for him the last time.
He's not even going to make it a question.
Zane's going at the bottom, which I think he wants that front row.
I think that worked out best for Majeski, because I think Zane doesn't have the speed to run with Majeski, and he might have the speed it takes to hold up Kligerman and Grant Enfinger from having a shot at Majeski. Majeski does his job, which we know what a talented short track racer he is. He does his job on this restart. He's going to drive away.
He's had thousands of these restarts in his career.
But I said this probably isn't the last restart. We'll see. What about Parker Kligerman?
I was going to say that second row, Kligerman and Enfinger got to be licking their chops here, don't they?
Yeah. What a great job by Enfinger, that Henderson Motorsports truck. Got a race to decide here.
Derek Kraus and Crafton. Great job tonight by Matt Crafton. 6th place.
Pace truck is off. They'll get up to speed. They'll cross the line. They'll take the green, and there's 12 to go at Bristol. Majeski with a great jump. Kligerman and Zane Smith side by side for second.
Zane needs to make sure he stays in front of Kligerman.
And he's going to wander up the hill a bit and take the lane away.
And gets the spot.
Gets it. I think Kligerman's comfortable with just getting in behind Zane. Now Majeski just says, guys behind me, keep your noses clean.
Yeah, stay green, folks.
Camping World, 10 to go at Bristol. Ty Majeski out front, zeroing in on his first career win. He's been 5th. He's been 4th. He's finished 3rd. He's been runner-up, but he has never taken home that checkered flag. He has never been a Truck Series winner, and he is 9 laps away from doing it.
Oh, sideways Ankrum got pushed there.
Great battle right here between Chandler Smith in the 18, Eckes in the 98. Both playoff contenders.
Yeah, Majeski wants just these guys to play nice for 8 more laps. No more cautions. Majeski wants it to stay green as he builds his lead to 0.6 of a second.
Eckes takes that spot away.
Chandler Smith running 9th. That's Eckes just ahead of him, and Stuart Friesen is ahead of Eckes.
Talked about Ankrum having some contact. Now you see smoke.
Somebody hit him pretty hard in the back. for that truck.
In 11th, John Hunter Nemechek behind him. And there's your race leader, Ty Majeski. 28 years old from Wisconsin. You see the points and the nerves.
15:75 lap time last time by. Still running within a tenth of a second of his fastest lap of the day on those older tires.
That's amazing. Last pitted on lap number 87.
There were times when Ty Majeski wondered if his NASCAR driving career was over. Would he get another opportunity? He went to work in the shop at Thorsport up in Sandusky, Ohio, and kind of set the driving on a back burner and just was a team guy. And then a couple of opportunities to get in an extra truck for Thorsport came along, and Majeski did that last year, did a nice job, and things fell together and gave him an opportunity to run it on a full-time basis this season. And oh, has he taken advantage of the opportunity. His fiance Allie watches, so nervous in the final lap. Ty Majeski, the road has not been easy, but it is a smooth road to the finish, and the checkered flag tonight at Bristol. Ty Majeski wins in the Truck Series for the first time.
What a great scene. So much energy, so much excitement.
You guys, awesome job. Thank you. Yes.
And with that win, he automatically advances to the championship 4. Ty Majeski will run for the championship November 4th in Phoenix.
Polish this baby up and let's take this thing to Phoenix. Awesome job.
They're going to take that very truck to Phoenix. It sounds like.
Why
Vince.
not? Right?
Absolutely.
Top 10, 7 out of the 8 races coming to Bristol, and then victory lane here.
Happy for the Thorsport organization. Championship team a year ago with Ben Rhodes, and they're going to have at least one truck run for the championship again in 22. And a couple of other contenders with Christian Eckes and Rhodes still alive.
Nothing quite like the first win, is there, Phil?
Sure isn't.
What's it feel like winning your first one at Bristol?
Pretty cool. It was a long time ago, but I still remember.
You still remember that?
Yeah.
You'd never forget that one.
No, sir.
Bristol is just a special place in the world of NASCAR. Everybody, from the drivers to the team owner, the crew guy, it just seems a little more special when you win at Bristol.
It really does.
And you know, you see fans that are excited at all the racetracks, but I would say too, Mike, for the fans, it's special to be at Bristol. Fans always seem to enjoy the atmosphere, and of course the racing is always terrific.
Look there, you're just going to bring her to a stop. We don't want to take a chance on spinning those tires and tearing up a fender.
The fans wanted a burnout.
I want to race this truck in Phoenix. I got a championship to win.
Yeah, Ty needs to apologize for not doing a burnout to the fans.
Roadrunner stopped.
Well, the Road Ranger was king of the road tonight, wasn't it?
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep, I'm coming to a stop right here.
Led 45 laps en route to his first career win, and a big smile from Ty Majeski.
He's like, why are they booing me?
He doesn't understand it.
I thought everybody liked me.
Ty Majeski, a winner in the Truck Series for the very first time, booking his way through also to the championship 4. Didn't do the burnout, but now he's getting the cheers. But Ty, talk to me about this moment, and no burnout there.
Man, this is unbelievable. I've been waiting for an opportunity like this. Duke, Rhonda Thorson, Allison, thank you for this opportunity. Just so proud to be here. We came guns blazing for this race, took our best truck. Joe was aggressive on pit strategy, got us out front, and we're able to get it done. This is so cool. My career's been so up and down, and there's been a lot of people to help me get to this point. It's so cool. I know my late model guys are watching back at the shop. You know, they're a big reason why I'm here. My parents, my fiance. This is just damn cool. Road Ranger, TRD, Toyota, for all they do for us. This is, man, I've been waiting for this for a long time.
And can you break down those final restarts for me? You called it an old school short track showdown at the end. How did you hold off the 38 to get the win?
Just had to do what I do. I've been in position a lot throughout my career. Late model racing, we've been fortunate enough to win a lot of races, and this is just another restart.
Thanks and congratulations. Maybe we'll see a burnout in Phoenix if he wins the championship. Jamie?
For Zane Smith, his crew chief Chris Lawson on the radio at the end of the race said, we certainly didn't deserve a second place tonight, but we raced our way through it. You had to start at the back, come all the way up, only made that one pit stop. What do you think was the turning point for the team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just getting ourselves track position. So a good salvage of the night. We worked on our Speedco Ford. The only chance we got, and I felt like went the right direction. Just, I don't know, I wish I could have done a few things different there. Obviously take the top. Top always launches better here, but I was so bad if I was outside of the PJ1 or whatever it is, and I didn't want to get freight trained on the top. And so, I don't know, I tried matching the 66. I did the first time, and then the second time he just got me, and he was just ultimately better than us, but still a never give up kind of night, and that's what it takes to get to Final Four.
We see now Ty Majeski has the chance to race for the championship round in Phoenix. You still have some work to do when you think about the points and you think about what's ahead. What's the biggest key you think for the next two races to make it to that Final Four?
Yeah, I don't know where we sit in points right now. I know I only got one stage point, and then obviously second, that's good, but I don't know, Talladega is such a wild card. A lot of people could be taken out there, and you could almost lock yourself in there. And so just need to have a solid Talladega, way easier said than done. And Homestead is honestly kind of a wild card in itself, just with us not going there last year. And I think I have a grand total of 5 laps there my first year. And so not too worried about it because our mile-and-a-half stuff has been quick. But I don't know, the round of 8 is always crazy. Hopefully we can make it out of it.
I can tell you right now, you sit third, 21 points above that cut line.
Well, the strategy didn't lead to a win, but I think it paid off.
Absolutely.
Second place finish for Zane Smith's a good one, but not quite as good as that 66. A little celebration. First career win for Majeski.